Shout out to G-Man Boxing.
Alright people, Dereck Chisora beats Kubrat Pulev on a 12 round split decision. Now, I didn't score the fight. I just watched it, and I have to say I did enjoy this fight. It was much better than I thought it would be. It was really the second half of the fight where it really caught fire. I mean, the first half was still better than the first fight, but it was just kind of more, it was kind of rinse and repeat, if you get me. You know, you had Pulev looking to do his thing, you had Chisora going to the body. It was really the second half, the 7th round on, where both guys definitely were a bit more fatigued. They'd slowed down at that point, and that's when we saw a really fun fight. But in terms of the winner, personally, I'm always someone who favours the aggressor. That's normally how I'd score a fight. I'll probably watch this fight again tomorrow and really look at the rounds, but just based on the eye test, I've no issue with Chisora getting the nod. I don't know about other people in the comment section. If you want to let me know what your scorecard was, feel free to. But I really don't see a problem with Chisora getting the nod, to be perfectly honest with you. The discrepancy was you had one judge scoring at 116-112 to Chisora and vice versa to Pulev. So it was a proper discrepancy. It wasn't like, we had close scorecards each way. And yeah, 116-112 is not massively wide, but still, like, there's like a 4-round swing each way. And then obviously Steve Gray, a couple of even rounds in there. I hate the way UK judges do that. I just don't like seeing even rounds scored. It's always UK judges who give the even rounds. You never really tend to see that kind of outside the UK. But I think he had a 116-114 for Chisora. We'll talk about this fight. So I knew going into this fight how Pulev won the first fight. He won it based upon jab and grab. And when you're talking about two fighters having a rematch, and that's the way the first fight went, regardless of how much they've regressed as a fighter, it doesn't take a lot to rinse and repeat that. So essentially, you didn't need crazy foot speed. You didn't need tremendous punching power. You didn't need really, really fast hands, really good reflexes. You needed a good long-range boxing, which Kubrat Pulev can do, and you grabbed him when he got close. Chisora, it's weird, right? Chisora back then, he did swing wildly, but the older he's gotten, the more wild he's gotten, at least from what I've seen. And that kind of played into his hand in this fight. And the rougher he's got on the inside, because from the first round on, he was attacking Pulev's body. And I think that really did hinder Pulev down the stretch. I don't want to say it took the legs away as much as maybe the commentary team would make out, because, Costello and Hay were saying, we're going to feel these bodies just like he's going to. He definitely felt them. You could see that the side of his body was getting a lot more redder. But in terms of, really taking the legs away from Pulev, I don't think it did that per se. I think just the actual pace of the fight, because Pulev was throwing a lot. And I think the fact that Chisora looked shot in there, looked like a shot fighter. And I think we all expected that, but I think that Kubrat Pulev, I certainly didn't expect him to look as bad as he did. Because I thought to myself, okay, Pulev may be 40, but he's not one of these fighters who fluctuates in between fights. He's normally in quite good shape. He's had 2 bad knockouts 6 years apart. Other than that, he's had a really straightforward career. Like, he's never been in any real wars. Never had really, really, really tough fights. So I thought he's probably still fresher. And yeah, he did look a bit fresher in there, but he seemed so unable to pull the trigger. He was getting hit with shots. I mean, Chisora's right hand that he was throwing, the big looping right hand that he was throwing at Kubrat Pulev, it wasn't hard to telegraph that shot. Chisora was leaning back. He was getting ready to throw all his weight into it, and then it would come. So you could see instantly, not even just a sudden kind of Wilder-esque boom, it's hit you. You could tell straight away he's looking to set that right hand up. He's in the position to throw it, and you're still getting hit by it. That's a worry. You got a guy there on the ropes who you're unable to hit, And it's not like this is Floyd Mayweather on the ropes. It's not like he's got crazy head movement. Chisora's head movement, again, it looked slow in this fight. It didn't look good. Didn't look fluid. He was forcing it. He was definitely regressed. You could definitely see he's got, slower as a fighter. But Pulev, unable to take advantage of any of that. Pulev's looking at a guy in front of him who he should be able to hit quite easy, who is slower, who just doesn't appear to have the fluidity of him. And Pulev's not able to land consistently. He's not able to really tag Chisora. He's struggling himself to pull the trigger. It was essentially a meeting of two fighters who were shot. That's essentially what it was. And Dereck Chisora, for my money, just outworked Kubrat Pulev. That's not to say Dereck Chisora had it all his own way. He certainly didn't. The first 6 rounds, Chisora outworked Pulev, but Pulev was doing better work with the long range boxing. He was doing good work with the uppercuts. Chisora's head movement, as I said, slow, and because Chisora was going to the body so much, that's one of the reasons why you tend to not see many heavyweights really invest in the body, is because it does leave you quite exposed for the uppercut. Chisora had some problems with Parker in the second fight with the uppercut, and in this fight it was no different. In the 7th round, Dereck Chisora got buzzed by an uppercut, and it did buzz him. It was a right uppercut he got hit by Kubrat Pulev with. His legs stiffened, he backed up against the ropes, and personally for me, I thought that fight was over at that point. I thought Pulev would go in and he'd surely be able to at least score a knockdown on Chisora. Maybe not necessarily finish him, but at the most he'd be able to get a knockdown. Well, he didn't, and what happened was he ended up getting buzzed himself. So he ended up getting caught with one of those looping right hands. A looping right hand that he just seemingly was unable to telegraph. So Chisora throws it. Pulev gets hit by it. Now Pulev was shaken a few times in this fight, but he was never badly stunned. You never looked at Pulev and thought, few shots here, Dereck, open up on him and he's gone. You never really saw that. You saw Pulev kind of a few times in the fight certainly get rocked back, and certainly I'm sure he had a few, ringing in his head a few times, but he was never badly phased or never badly stunned. But the fact that he was getting hit with them shots itself is just a worry for me. So we got to the end of this fight, and again, I personally, just based on what I saw, if you asked me to say who do you think win, I'd say probably Chisora won it just based upon work rate. I didn't score it. I was kind of just watching it in the moment. So I would say I would have given it just based on the eye test to Chisora, but probably could have gone either way. Let me know in the comment section. In terms of the fight, both guys, there's not really much to say about both guys in terms of technical. I mean, technique kind of went out the window after the second half of the fight. It was fun to watch. It was better than the first fight. I did enjoy it. The card itself was a letdown, I have to say. I was looking forward to the Magomedov-Sora fight, and obviously it ended with a cut, which before 3 rounds worked. It was a bad one as well. I mean, that cut was bleeding profusely from Sora. It was really bad. You saw the heads clash instantly when they both went in for the shot, and then you saw the blood flowing. And I mean, that was bad. That was like someone opened a tap on it. As soon as I seen the blood flowing, because you could see the Matchroom logo on the canvas, and it was just like blood, I was like, oh, they're stopping that fight. So that was a bit of a shame. But this definitely kind of helped kind of bring the card back to life. It was a fun fight. It definitely was. It was better than the first fight. Much better. Hard to get worse than that, but this is much better. So Chisora gets the win. It's not a bad win, to be fair. Kubrat Pulev. So with him and Takam, you'd say they're his 2 best wins. So Dereck Chisora gets the win. Much needed win. He hasn't won a fight since 2019. So his first win in roughly 3 years, right about this time 3 years ago, actually, funny enough, was his... No, actually, he fought David Price in October. So that was his last win prior to this one, 2019. So Chisora, he brought his family to the ringside. He normally walks to the ring to Hotel California by the Eagles, but I forget the name of the song he went to, but it was a real goodbye kind of song. So I wouldn't be at all shocked if this is the end of Chisora, and personally he needs to call it a day. It's all well and good going in there against Kubrat Pulev, who's just as shot as you, and getting a win like that. Joe Joyce, Daniel Dubois, definitely Dylan White at this stage. And I know Dylan White probably, you could say he's probably peaked as a fighter. He's probably on the downslide, but still beat Chisora based upon what I saw in there. So Chisora take the win. You had a fun career. Yeah, you didn't win a world title, but the amount of money you've made, the amount of big name fights you've had, you've done well for yourself. I thought he was finished in 2014 after the Fury fight. Came back from that. I thought he was finished after he lost to Kubrat Pulev in 2016. Came back from that. I wrote him off after he lost to Kabayel in 2017. Came back from that. I didn't think he was going to beat Carlos Takam. Knocked Takam out in 8 rounds. The man that just keeps on giving. The cat with 9 lives. That's Dereck Chisora. He just keeps coming and coming, but Father Time definitely has caught up with him. I think he needs to call it quits. I haven't seen the post-fight interviews. Maybe he has called it quits. I don't know. If he has, there'll be a TF video on him. We'll talk about his career, definitely. But I think Chisora needs to call it quits. Pulev, likewise. Will he carry on? I don't know. If I was Frank Warren, personally, I'd be looking at Kubrat Pulev and thinking, Daniel, first title defense. Seriously, I'd be like, first title defense right there. Kubrat Pulev. Say it was a controversial loss to Chisora. Say his only other 2 losses have been world title fights. Daniel, go in there, knock him out in a couple of rounds. Boom. Seriously, if I was a matchmaker and I was Frank Warren, I'd be like, Daniel, there's your next fight. Seriously. But like, there's your next fight. Shot Pulev. Boom. There you go. Try and sell it as, a great win, other than the controversial loss to Chisora, he's only been beaten by AJ and Klitschko in world title fights. Oh, Dubois knocked him out in a couple of rounds. Boom. There you go. So that's my thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts on the fight. How did you see it? How did you score it? Do you feel Pulev was hard done by? Do you feel Chisora won it clearly? And do you, like me, feel that, well, both guys really, but Chisora especially, should just say, box ticked. See you later, boxing. You've been good to me. You set me up for life. I'm on my way. Let me know in the comment section. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you enjoyed the video, people. I'll talk to you. Peace.